How's it going, guys? I think I'm live now. I don't really know how it works. Oh well. We'll just wait for chat to chime in. Well, anyways, it looks like I am live, so yeah. This here is a drone. It's a quadcopter, actually, to be precise. And I built this thing quite a few years ago. I can't remember now how long ago it was, but quite a while. I flew this thing quite a bit, and then the regulations changed. And so now I don't think this drone is legal in Canada. I think I need a special registration for it. So therefore I haven't flown it in quite a while. It's kind of a shame. This thing was fun. I built this obviously on a budget as cheaply as possible. But yeah, it did its purpose. Looks like my battery connector's a little foobarred there. I spent a little time in the Hey, how's it going, Junk from work? Welcome. You know what? You don't need work. You can just be junk from home. Just go sit in one of those big trucks in the back seat, roll the windows up, nobody will see you. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take the props off. Or first I should do a weigh-in here. So, I think anything under about 250 grams is no longer legislated. So this is 350 with no battery. Battery weighs quite a bit. So yeah, it's this thing's a no-fly, really. I could go get my license, but I guess whatever. I'm just gonna fly this thing twice and then crash it anyways. So, first things first, always good idea to take your props off when you're working on something like this. These things have a nasty habit of they won't chop your fingers off, but they'll definitely give you flesh wounds. So take these props off. There's a little hole through the cap of the prop here, and you just want to give it a spin off. Got to be careful because some of them are reverse thread. I don't think I bought any of the reverse thread ones. There's one. This might be a pain in the butt to disassemble as well, because if I remember correctly, I used Loctite on everything. Will I remember which one goes where? Whatever. I'll figure it out. Haven't flown a drone for quite a while. Used to strap the GoPro in the front here, and by GoPro I mean Chinese GoPro clone. I mean, it wasn't even an SJ cam, it was a fake SJ cam. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, these are just standard props. You could tell I took a couple of crashes with them because they were kind of stress whitened there. Sorry about the camera rolling stuff here. Can't really do much about that now. It wasn't doing this obviously before the stream, or else I could have fixed it. I wonder if I can lift these out using those a fancy screwdriver kit I have. I wonder if the Weehaw has it. Yeah, there's some Allens here, but not many. Oh, it's a bit loosey-goosey. Nope, looks like that's a no, dog. I have some super fancy Allen tools. This is not that. These two here. How's it going, Peekaboo? These two things here are actually zip ties to hold the antenna in place. And so I can snip these. I gotta be careful not to snip the antenna wire. I think Junk from Work is gone. I don't think he stuck around. He has one of those things where he has to actually work. Alright, there's one. So yeah, it's just zip tie with a bit of heat shrink on it. Try to keep the antenna from getting sucked into the props and getting wrecked. How's it going, Sarvis? This thing might be a little worse for wear because this is the first one I built, and I kind of built it with no experience. And I did it a few years ago. I guess it would be like more like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I was definitely not as good at soldering as I am now. So you're going to see there's a little bit of nastiness here. But first I have to find an Allen wrench or a hex screwdriver. Oh, this one. Sweet. Eyeballed it from a mile away. Alright. Oh my god. Yeah, I figured it would be a pain in the butt. These things will all have a little bit of Loctite on them. And plus they're differential metals. This was in the time before they made aluminum hardware super accessible for drones. This is just the steel hardware that came with one of the cheapest frames I could find. So the plan for today, now that there's a few of you in here, is going to be to remove this middle board here and fix all this wiring, and I would fix it by installing it onto this PDB. I actually, I had this for years, but it's just been sitting there. I don't know if I'm gonna fly this drone really, except for indoors. I do work at a big garage, but if I want to sell it, I'm gonna have to sell it in working shape. So I want to, finish it, and then decide if I want to sell it or keep it. Thanks, Sarvis. I appreciate it. You know what? I did that video really quickly, and so I may have missed a couple things, because clearly if you see in the comments section, people are upset that I missed a couple things. So I'll have to revisit it. So look forward to that. Okay, so this here is embarrassing. We're going to get into what this is momentarily. I'm just going to unplug this and unplug this. So when I rebuilt this once, because when I first built it I had ESCs, the electronic speed controllers for the brushless motors. It was these fat guys which were really, really cheap, but I blew 2 of them because they're just garbage. So I got these new speed controllers, these BL Heli ones, 16 amps, but when I got these new ones, they didn't have a 5-volt circuit on them. They couldn't provide 5 volt to the flight controller. So I strapped one of the old ones on the top there, just to use its 5-volt regulator, because back then I didn't keep parts in stock like I do now, and I just wanted to fly this thing. So that's a bit embarrassing, but you know what? It is what it is. So yeah, these are the MOSFET pairs. Actually, you know what? I probably have all the burnt ones. So maybe I should desolder them and reuse the MOSFETs that are good, because these things are actually high quality MOSFETs they use. But in here, one of these two guys here is a 5-volt regulator, which is all I'm using on this particular one. But yeah, I should salvage all these MOSFETs. They look still pretty good. So that's good there. We won't be needing that with the PDB because the PDB has one right there. So that's the 5-volt supply here. This must be a 5-volt pad here. I hope it's a 5-volt pad, unless this is for the camera. Not sure. Okay, so hey, how's it going, Electronic Passion? If you guys understand French, go check out Electronic Passion. He's got better videos than mine. They're just in a different language. Yeah, so all these guys, I probably won't remember where they go. Oh, I'll have to shorten everything. Actually, I'll have to resolder all of this stuff. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a full rework. I may not finish it today. So all these guys will come out like that. And there's the front speed controllers there. I'm going to take apart this board. This is the flight controller. This is what actually does the calculations, keep your quad steady. This is a NAES32 board, and I think it uses a STM32. Yeah, it uses a STM32 chip, which is should be the same thing that's on this guy. This is also a STM32 and a sort of Arduino-y looking board. Yeah, Sarvis, I would definitely recommend the D3806 because I mean I'm running my YouTube channel basically off of it, so I think if you're just a hobbyist, it'd be just fine. Look at this ghetto stuff. So here, back here, was my ghetto power distribution board. So I actually made my own by tinning some PCB material. I can pull this out. There we go. So I tinned some circuit board material here, and I just kind of soldered everything to it. I don't think I'll need this much wire, so I can just snip all these guys off, all the 5 volts, or the 12 volts. Did I nick the cable here? No, thankfully. So yeah, I wasn't as good at soldering and electronics as I am today, but I was certainly resourceful and certainly impatient. So yeah, there, it's all hot glued together, so anything wouldn't short on it. That's not necessary anymore. Yeah, Joe, that's accurate. You should make a case. However, I did not, and I have yet to short it. The only time I had a mishap with my D3806 was when I spilled some soft drink on it, because I don't drink beer, but I do drink coffee, and I drink soft drinks. So those are my vices, so to speak. Alright, I think I can take the receiver connector off, because I think this is just one connector. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's off. Alright, so this here is a FrSky, that's FrSky. I don't remember the part number for this one, but it's a FrSky receiver. FrSky makes some of the best hobby stuff. I don't know if they've been surpassed now, but certainly they used to be the best. If you like RC stuff, by the way, there's a guy called Bruce Simpson, and he has a YouTube channel which is called RC Model Reviews. And if you're at all curious about, well, RC models, you should go check out his channel instead of here. This is me. I built this under his recommendations. This was a few years ago now, before I had a YouTube channel, basically. There we go. We'll take the nays off. These are just little nylon screws. Nylon screws are great because they weigh nothing and they aren't conductive, so you can screw right onto this tiny board here and it won't short anything, even if there's pads nearby. I have a whole box of these nylon screws somewhere. I'm running low now, but I had a lot at one point. A little bit of grass in there from some crashing, but yeah, see, this is what I mean. Look at this shitty soldering. Oh my god, it's so bright. Can you see that? There we go. Is it autofocusing? My god. There you go. You see the shitty solder there? Right there? That's not good. It's all puffed up. It's huge. It still works, but it's not ideal. Look, those two right there are near shorting. So yeah, be more careful. And I guess, like, it just goes to show that it is what it is, man. Sometimes, you know, you just try to get stuff done. So where's the front? I don't even know where the front is. I think this whole thing's gonna have to be redone. Oh, that didn't feel good. Alright, what do we need here? So we have some nylock nuts here. Yeah, definitely take the advice of people who know better than me. I am I'm very low at taking care of things like that. I don't I got particularly lucky that nothing typically goes too wrong, but yeah, sometimes it does. Just gonna get my put this over here. Just gonna go see if I can find a little nut driver for this. I may have some around my RC stuff. I'll be right back. This is an RC tool for a 5th scale, and that's a bit too big for this. I should be careful, I've got knives in this kit. See, like that. Shouldn't have that just laying around there. I don't know. That may do. It's not ideal. 5.5 millimeters, so that's a 5 millimeter right there. I don't know where the heck I'm gonna find a 5 millimeter. Clearly I had something at the time. What's a 1/4 inch? No. Yeah, I'm terribly organized. I'm undertaking a task right now to attempt to organize all this stuff, but I need to build a workbench, and once the workbench is done, I'll be a bit more organized, and therefore should be able to give you guys a tour of this whole area. We will see though. Alright, let's see if we could just jam a 5.5 on there. Yeah, it's working. I have needle nose, but they're kind of very needly, like really small. I'm not really, you know, I'm set up for working on kind of really big things and really small things, but not really in this weird middle ground. Like, who the hell has 5.5 mil or 5 mil wrenches kicking around? And don't forget, I haven't even like touched this thing for years. My remote control is like somewhere. I have to find it. The battery, it's a LiPo that's inside, so it's probably well dead. And probably has a dangerous voltage level. You know, the cool stuff. This. Yeah, jeez. I wonder if there's too much light for you guys. Give me a second here. Let's see. What happens if I pull? Is that a bit better? A little bit less hot? Maybe if I turn this off. Okay. If that's too dark, you guys let me know. It's very different having this webcam instead of my DSLR that I usually make my videos with. My DSLR, basically, the more light I throw at it, the smaller the aperture I could use, and therefore more of the shot stays in focus, even though I sometimes ruin it. I have some replacement arms too. I have these guys, which weigh less than these guys, because these guys are carbon fiber all the way through. And these guys, because I bought the cheapest kit I could find, this is fiberglass in the middle and a few layers of carbon fiber on either side. So these guys, way more rigid and way lighter, in fact. But I don't know if I want to replace the arms, because if I do fly this thing, I'm going to crash it, and the only place I can fly it legally is indoors, which means in the shop where I work. And so if I crash it, it crashes on concrete. Probably not a good idea. There we go. I need to get a good set of Allen screwdrivers, because if you're going to do a lot of RC stuff, you probably want a set of ball end and a set of straight end, and you want some high quality stuff. I'll have to see if like you can get some Weha stuff or some Vera stuff. Not that I can particularly afford it. I shouldn't really be spending so much money. Oh, I'm limited to indoor flight because this quad weighs more than 250 grams and I live in Canada. So if I want to fly this outdoors in the general public, I'm going to have to get a license. And honestly, for the amount of flight that I do, or that I would do, that I would have time for, basically, it's not worth it. So I just charge up a battery and fly it in a concrete shop. Or just don't fly at all. Is this too dark now? I feel like it might be too dark. Let me see. Work the angles here. Okay. No, it's too bright now. I don't know. You know what? I have to figure out some sort of live streaming solution here. But today will not be that day. I wish I could dim this light up here, but it's a LED spotlight, and I don't believe that it has a dimmable ballast inside. I'm gonna have to figure out something for the channel though, because I want more light, more spread. I also want to be able to have more light if I want it, and less light. So dimmable. I also don't want like 1,000 points of light, so using LED strip tape is kind of meh. I might see if I can make a big panel. I don't know. Figure it out. Got a lot of projects, not much time. Trying to hit the YouTubes hard this year. Want to see if I can make it to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which I don't think is going to happen, but it may. I'm sure you guys are liking this as much as watching paint dry. Yeah, get off there. So the only bad part about the PDB on this frame is called a ZMR 250, because I believe post to post in a diagonal fashion it's 250 millimeters. Well, look at all this junk coming off the quad from crashing. The only problem with the PDB is that it replaces a structural member. So the one of the sandwich pieces here, the one that's going to be replaced, is actually structural. The posts go in it. And so now I'm replacing carbon fiber and fiberglass with just fiberglass with copper. And the problem is when it flexes, that copper could be broken. Okay, so there we go. So this should now come off. Yeah, there we go. So this is the bottom section. So this one stays. But this guy, the top guy, has to be replaced by this PDB here. So I need to keep undoing, unfortunately. Almost done. You can see I have 6 viewers. I wish they would give me spacers to go underneath here instead of clamping this only with the arms. Oh boy. So not only does this have Loctite on it, but it actually corroded a little bit. So here's the bad part. This is aluminum, and these bolts are steel. When you have fasteners of different metals touching each other, they create a tiny little electric charge in the millivolt range. Ooh, I smell that the Loctite there. So they create a small charge, and the current flows. You know, I have a power drill, but I think I would strip the shit out of these guys. So a current flows, and that current actually eats away a little bit at the two metals. The worst part about this kit is that this here is carbon fiber, so you have two dissimilar metals and a conductive carbon, so you get, I think, more transference of that kind of microvolt current, which makes things worse in a little way, but still worse. Aluminum. Yeah, I'm Canadian. I know the British say it different. I know. You could. However, if you're not an experienced pilot like me and you crash, you really do need the strength that steel gives you. I could have bought a aluminum screw kit, and then at least it wouldn't be two dissimilar metals, but that would have cost money, and I'm just installing what I have in stock, what I already bought like a couple of years ago, because I don't really want to spend more money on another hobby again. Between my 3 jobs and making YouTube videos, my day is pretty much spoken for. But yeah, nylon screws would be a possibility. These are these aluminum posts on some of the smaller quads. They actually use nylon posts instead too. Honestly, if I was a better pilot, I would probably do that. The B9 robot video. No? Was I supposed to? Maybe I have. I don't know what it's called. Is that possible? There we go. So now this is necessarily the rear. It has to be the rear because that's where the plug is, and up here it has the cuts for the camera. I have a camera, in fact. I don't fly FPV because I don't have any FPV gear, but I do have the camera transmitter receiver. I don't have the screen or anything. Oh, I have that piece of paper somewhere, actually. You know what? You know, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I looked at that piece of paper, and I'm like, what the hell did I write down? And then I was like, man, I'm sure it was supposed to do something with that. Let me see. Okay. This is unfortunately just going to be a cycle of me forgetting things. So how about this? Wait, is this here? This thing. Well, you can't see. Was I supposed to look up something to do with that? XRLENT12? Because If so, I'm gonna go put it on my keyboard right now. Let me know if that's the one. Also, let me know what I'm supposed to see, like what it's about. That's the one. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my keyboard right now. There we go. Put it over a stack of money, so I should be able to see it. And by stack of money, I mean a couple 20s that my friends owed me. That's really funny because I was cleaning up my bench last week, and I was like, what the heck is this? Why did I write this down? That's this is my life. This is my life. Have you guys been enjoying the daily releases of videos? This whole my goal is to do a video a day for all of January, and if I can muster it, all of February, because I'm really pushing to get 5,000 subs, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. My views are up, which is good, but not necessarily my per video views. I just have a lot of videos, you know what I mean? It's not quite that my audience is growing, it's more that I'm putting out more content, so people are coming to see more so. You know what? I would make a radiation detector, but I don't have the parts. If I had a kit, for sure I'd put it together. But I think they're fairly expensive, like 20 bucks or something. So $20, and then my ad revenue is going to bring me like 60 cents on that video. So basically it still would cost me $20 out of pocket. And honestly, as much as I would love to actually make one, I don't have any way to test it. I don't have anything radioactive unless I go buy some bananas or something. But I don't know if it'll be sensitive enough to catch that. Okay, well, this is it. This is definitely the front. You know what? I did this backwards, didn't I? I should have soldered this plug on this side, because now the DTI is upside down. Oh well, whatever. So if this is the front, it's kind of sitting like that. This guy will go over here, sort of like that. Oh boy. Sort of like that. And now I have to solder this guy over here on this arm here, and have these guys cut short and come right here. Except there should be a signal pad. 5-volt V out. Oh, is it this? Yeah, okay, that's the signal pad, then the ground. Okay, I think we're good. Crisis averted. Go to Pickering. You know what? There was no event. It was all a lie. Well, not a lie. It was like a training mistake or whatever. I did get that alert though. That was fantastic. 7:30 in the morning. Thankfully, I was awake at the time. A lot of people were not. Well, they were after, but not during. There we go. I can't wait to finish the workbench though, because I think I'm going to do a shop tour after so people can see what the shop looks like. But I have been toying, just toying, with making that a Patreon exclusive. Because you know what? My patrons, they are fantastic people. I mean, all my viewers are good, but my patrons toss an extra little bit into the pot for me. So it would, you know, be remiss not to thank them. Because honestly, I don't do enough for my patrons. And I give them early access to videos and stuff, and I'm like, man, that's not much, especially some days. That early access is not, it's not all that long. It's only like, they only get like a day. Sometimes when I'm more productive, they get a little bit more. But it's not much, really. And they still support me. And I told them, you know, I apologized to them for not giving them massive amounts of perks, and they're like, we don't care. We're not here for the perks, which is like heartwarming, really, you know? So these arms here, after a couple crashes, the carbon is actually coming up. So I think before I solder or I lock this down somehow, I'm gonna put some Kapton tape, even though there's tape here. Lipro about 40 kilometers from us, so if something happens there, we would get an alert. Interesting. I get alerts like from Toronto all the time for like Amber Alerts and stuff. Even though, like, let's be honest, unless they're heading this way, I can see that. But if they're not, I don't really know what good I'm gonna be doing all the way up in Ottawa. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, though. Like, I'm pretty agnostic, really, on it. But some people get really upset by the Amber Alerts and stuff. Ooh, I was afraid I had damaged my soldering iron from the speed build there. Because I had it at 425. I love my soldering iron. That's the one thing, you know, a quality soldering iron. And you know what, I say it's quality. It's not a Weller or anything, or a Heiko. It's actually a Chinese clone, but it's temperature adjustable, which is fantastic. And I don't know why I waited so long to get one. All right, let's see if I can re-tin this. I have a Sigma 60D, which is the sort of like it's a Chinese clone, similar to the what is it, the 858D or something like that, the Heiko knockoff, the one that Big Clive recommended, but not that one. It's just it's one that looks exactly like it. So basically the one that Big Clive recommended. I wouldn't have any electrical tape anywhere, right? No, guess not. I'm going with my Kapton. So if you want to find it on Amazon, it was the Sigma 60D. But honestly, any like 858 clones, they're just way better than the regular plug-in non-temperature regulated ones. Oh no. Try to hold this steady. There we go. And chop this off. There we go. Be held in with Kapton tape instead of electrical tape, simply because. What do you have? The knockoff or the or do you mean the you got the actual real deal, like the Heiko or whatever? You know, CTC, from time to time, you kind of have no choice as a Canadian, but I really try to avoid it as much as I can. It's just not great. Oh, of course I put Kapton tape right over where I need to solder. That was a really good good effort. There we go. Oh, the cheapy plugin. Yeah, so that was my first iron actually, but the tip corroded away, and I was still using it. But like, I figured, you know what, 60 bucks for this Heiko clone, 2-day shipping. I figured I'd give it a shot. And the brilliant part about Amazon, and I hope Amazon realizes this, the entire reason I buy so much stuff from Amazon is that if it goes wrong, I can send it back. So it's kind of like their no questions warranty is the reason that I buy from there, because it's not so much of a risk to get something from there. I don't know if I'm going to be done this tonight, by the way, guys, just so you know, because this could take quite a while. I may put everything that I have here in a little storage box at some point, and then finish it on another live stream, or finish it non-live, whatever the hell that is. Well, cut this one a bit long. Oh, the pistol style one. Yeah, you know what? I have a pistol style one that I use at work. A shop provided one. And it works great for like large gauge things, but I don't think I could do electronics with it. It's just too it's too much of a big boy, and it gets really hot, and it's still not temperature controlled. You have like a low and a high, and that's it. I really like the temperature control nature of the Heiko clones, and honestly, for the price, you can't really go wrong. Oh, that kind of like burnt my digits there. Am I on screen? I am on screen. Awesome. I don't know if you've noticed in some of my videos there, I have issues staying in frame. That's because my eyesight is terrible, and I try my best to stay close to where I can see, which is not always good. Yeah, you know what? It's a bit of a dry joint, but I think it'll be okay. This stuff, you don't like this solder wire? I actually, you know what? I have this stuff, and this stuff is junk. I don't know if you can see. There we go. See that blue there? It's it doesn't have enough flux inside, I find. This guy, just the right amount of flux. I mean, it could use a bit more, I guess, but it's been working. I don't, you know what? I probably should buy some higher quality stuff, some MG Chemical stuff or something like that, because honestly, at the rate I use solder, like even I find I'm a solder power user, right? I use quite a bit of it, but it's still not going away that quickly. So maybe I should treat myself to some higher quality solder. We'll see. Maybe if I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll do an upgrade video or something. There we go. Kena B1. This is, okay, B2. So maybe it is the thinner stuff. Like this guy is 0.3 millimeters, and it's got like no flux inside. It's got some, but not quite enough. So that's good. And now I can hook this up over here. Yeah, maybe, you know what, maybe I'll do all of them, and then I'll work on them after. Work on getting them specific after. Ooh, this guy I had to put an extension on. Whoopsies. I love glue guns. See, you just use glue gun as insulation, and good to go. You know, I really should get my eyes rechecked because cataracts run in the family, and it's been 3-4 years since I got my eyes checked, and they are bad. It sucks. So yeah, maybe I should get that done. I think my benefits cover it. I'm not sure. Where's a good knife? I have all my shitty knives out and about. I want my good one. No, whatever. Shitty one it is. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Pico? I'm about to hit 32 soon, but I don't really want to tell you guys when my birthday is because I really don't want to make a big deal of it. It's not really that important. Just went around the sun once more. Happens every year, not a big deal. So I'm almost 32 and my eyesight is terrible. 37, yeah, so I'm right around the corner, man. I have a feeling this guy here was the opposite corner. Yeah, I think it was. See how the cables are connected directly? That means it goes in the same direction as the one I just did. It spins in the same direction because these speed controllers do not have software reversal. You can tell I fucked up this one years ago too because I have an extension wire there. There we go. All right. Fix this guy. Just gonna take the excess solder off of here. There we go. Very nice. And then same as the other guy, I'm gonna put that on here right kind of before that hole, like that. Grab my fake Kapton tape. I did test this stuff and it's very similar to Kapton. Yeah, I wear glasses, pretty thick glasses. I'm nearsighted. I think I'm negative 4 1/4 in one of my eyes and 3 3/4 or something like that in the other one. I think my whole family wears glasses, so it was kind of meant to be. I can definitely pretty up this Kapton job later. I just need to get this ESC sorta centered. because that's where it's going to live, and that's where I'm going to solder the wires to. Okay. And again, snip. Well, for me it's easy. If I take off my glasses, I'm basically handicapped. I can't do anything at all. Like, I can't, if I go to the bathroom at night, I have to take my glasses with me. Because in the dark, I can see even worse. This PDB should be great because it's going to shed weight. It's going to be a lot lighter than it was before. Still won't make it to the 250 gram mark, unfortunately. That's okay. I made peace with that. There's a reason for these regulations. I don't think I would have been a problem, but if it's to keep others safe, I kind of get it. That was a difficult solder. I can snip this Kapton tape that I put on top of where I need to solder again. There we go. Yeah, I don't get headaches from no glasses. I do get motion sickness a little bit because I literally can't see anything. It's kind of sad. I can see most people aren't particularly interested in live streams, I guess, especially if I do boring stuff like this. So I think we're 5 viewers right now. That's okay. I've been meaning to do this, and it would be too long to do this in a video. I don't know what the heck I would talk about for like 2 hours or whatever it takes. So at least this way, you guys can interact with me if you want to. Okay, so these two are finished. They're kind of opposite sides. These guys. Hey Razvi. Yeah, I know the bell is not infallible. If you have the bell on, typically it'll work, but I think YouTube still has like a little time period it waits because it wants to make sure that I'm actually live. I guess some creators like mess up. Well, first of all, the Creator Studio, the new one, is kind of trash, and YouTube doesn't want to admit that. If you guys watch Linus Tech Tips, he has pretty much every week the WAN show messes up and he has to complain about the YouTube Studio. So this one here is going to be mounted crisscross. See that? See these two wires are crisscrossed? That's to change the direction of the brushless motor. If you just put two phases opposite what they were. It always spins backwards. Yeah, do an electronic kit build. 100%. Especially you should buy the LM317 speed build kit. And then video it, and we'll put you in the playlist. Fantastic content. I think Pile of Stuff just got a kit in the mail, so he's going to be doing his entry into the contest, which should be great. I hope you guys watch Pile of Stuff, because his stuff is awesome. And if you're looking for more creators, not just Pile of Stuff, well then Junk from Work is a great creator that does kind of more automotive type things, but he's slipping over to this side. So give him a chance if you like electronic stuff. And then there's another maker, literally that's what he's called, that's his YouTube channel. He does all sorts of things, but mostly like electronics. He does some web stuff, but he does a little bit more in depth. Like I think he's a really good programmer, and so a lot of his content, you know, he'll be like, oh, look, this is super easy, and then he speaks basically programmer language for a few minutes, and then my head stopped spinning, and it was a pretty good video in the end. But he's a really nice guy also, so that's really useful. Yeah. Yeah, do the challenge. Use your cell phone to film it. I think everyone should, honestly, I really want everyone to do the challenge. It's amazing. You don't have to be a YouTuber. You really don't. Because you only need the video for proof of your time. So we can see like if you made mistakes or if you cut corners or whatever, but that's it. So the video doesn't have to be properly edited, or it could be one take. It doesn't matter. We just want the video proof so we can put you up on the board. Are you creating a smart relay, or are you like using a pre-built one you have to program it? Because if you create one, there's lots of ways to do it, but like what are the parameters? I've never done it, but I mean a smart relay is just a regular relay with extra steps, really. So what you choose to do to get your extra steps in, say like use Arduino, or well, you need like web enabled, so probably go like what's that thing, the wireless modules there. Probably use one of those and you'd be good to go. I mean, programming one using such goddamn horrible program, you can program it in Python and use a Raspberry Pi. I've learned a bit of Python, but I haven't really used any Python, just learning it, I guess, for learning's sake. I really wish I could get some sort of software job, but you know what? Again, I have 3 jobs, but all 3 are sketchy. Don't know if they're gonna have those jobs forever. So take that as you will. They're all fleeting. Pretty much everything in life is fleeting these days. Hoping YouTube works out, so eventually I can make a couple $100 a month and be a lot less scared to try different jobs and stuff. Right now I'm making yeah, LM317 is a DC-DC converter, but it's a linear converter. So instead of taking that extra energy and converting it efficiently, it just burns it off as heat. Oh, Rasby, you're using a object-based. It's yeah, I can see, you know, I know professionals who use object-based coding as their real job. Like they use that to code. And I always thought it was, you know, object-oriented stuff was more for learning. But no, people actually use that for work. So take advantage of the opportunity to learn something that could be used in a workplace while you still can. Is it like Node.js or whatever, something like that? Yeah, the LM317 is just like a 7805, but the 7805 is 5.5 volts and the LM317 is adjustable. Just a linear regulator, nothing special, but you can set it up to make it a constant current module out of it, which I'm going to make a video on pretty soon. There's a few uses for the LM317, and it's a good thing to have the LM317 in your toolbox, because you can make like a battery charger, you can make all sorts of things. The to make a sort of like the module, like the one that I have a video on recently, the constant current, constant voltage module, it's probably best just to get the module, because it's a really cheap and it's, you know, proper. But you can make all sorts of circuits with the LM317. You don't have to limit yourself to just what you see there. Well, there's the third one done. Oh yeah, constant current is awesome. That's a great thing with the D3806, is that you can set a current limit. And it's fantastic how sort of people are complaining that lithium batteries are very hard to charge, right? They're really hard. They need a specific voltage and a specific current. But basically, for electronics enthusiasts, they're actually simpler to charge than NiCads, for example. Because NiCads use a peak voltage detection method, which requires a little bit of circuitry, whereas the constant current, constant voltage modules that or charge style is the way that it just works, right? Like power supplies are already made to be constant current, constant voltage devices. So for us, I would say lithium batteries are easier to deal with. And actually that is proof positive, because there's the TP4056 or the I think it's a 4056, which is a lithium ion charging chip. It's a single chip solution, and those things are dirt cheap, but you try to get a NiCad charger and you can't do it for a buck Canadian, you know, but you can do a lithium charger. So there's proof positive, really. I think lithium batteries are better in every way. All right, Savas, have a good night. Oh yeah, the Nintendo is AC, huh? That's interesting. Speaking of AC, if you guys want to see me make a 110 volt AC charging system, or a testing system, I think you have to go over to my mailbag 42, and comment that you want to see me make an AC voltage testing station, or yeah, testing station, prototyping station, whatever, because I asked for 10 comments, and after there's 10 comments I will buy and build the thing within a week, but I haven't had 10 comments yet. So if you guys aren't interested, that's fine. Saves me from zapping myself. No, Gadget, you can't do it here. You have to do it over on the Mailbag 42, and I think you've already done it, so that's a good try. But speaking of LM317 speed build kits, you guys should head over to Gadget Reboot's channel and take a look at his attempt. It was a friggin' good attempt, I'll tell you. I won't tell you his time. You'll have to figure that out by yourself. But it was pretty good. Yes, very likely if I start playing with AC voltage, it will be like an Electro Boom video. Hopefully that'll get me some freaking subscribers. Stuck here in the 2400s. Like this. I swear I had kept on tape. Oh, here we go. But yeah, check out Gadget Reboot. He's a really good creator. Good stuff. He's got mailbag videos too, and I know you guys like mailbag videos because I get like triple the views on my mailbag videos than I do on any other video. So if you want to see some more mailbag videos, because I know there's more viewers than videos, go check out Gadget Reboot. Yeah, well, you know what, Razvi? Being Canadian, there's one thing I can be proud of. Healthcare is free, but subscribers are not. So, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And plus, the only job that me getting zapped won't allow me to do, out of my 3 that I have, is the one I want to do the least. So, there's that. If I get hurt, I can focus more on the 2 jobs that I do like, and on my YouTube channel. So there's that. You gotta look on the positive side sometimes, you know? Ouch, that got hot quick. Okay, these 2 need to be crossed over, so this guy will come over here. Yeah, I would totally buy subscribers if that was a valid way. The problem is, so I'm on a few YouTubing subreddits, so people who are new to YouTube, like small channels, and they think that buying subscribers is a good idea. But the problem is, if you have way more subscribers than people who watch your videos, like there's a certain allowable ratio that pretty much everybody has. But if, let's say you have like 1 million subscribers and your videos get like 50 views, YouTube will stop promoting your stuff because they'll be thinking that your stuff is not good enough for the vast majority of your subscribers. So yeah, thanks Pico. I appreciate you subscribing to Gadget Reboot, because well, anyways, it's for you though. Once you watch a couple of his videos, you'll understand the charm. It's great. Ouch, stabbed myself. Yeah, YouTube does purge inactive accounts. In fact, they purged it earlier in December, I think. So yeah, you know, I would, you know, there's other ways to buy subscribers, right? Like if you do giveaways for subscribers only and stuff like that, that is, I mean, it's not directly buying subscribers, but it's pretty close. Because if you look at those giveaways that the entries require you to be subscribed, you go through what's that social site or whatever, and they check to verify that you're subscribed. That's, I mean, that's the same thing. You're just not buying it from a click farm, but you're still buying subscribers. So let's let's not kid ourselves. I would just, if I wanted to give free stuff away, I would send it to my actual viewers, not to people who are newly subscribed, because I'd rather reward you guys that are checking me out and coming in day after day, rather than, you know, somebody new. You know, I mean, if the new person wins a raffle, then they win a raffle. But other than that, I'd be more likely to send stuff to my Patreon patrons than to somebody who subscribed to me just to join a contest, you know? Don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It makes sense to me. Okay, so we can bolt these guys in now. Plus, I'm really lucky. I've got really good patrons. Like, honestly, I can't even imagine what I did to get such awesome people all in one spot. I've got some people who, like, were my patrons from, like, the time I opened my Patreon page. Thanks to Pile of Stuff, by the way. Pile of Stuff is the one who talked me into it, getting a Patreon page. Oh, shit. I was supposed to do something here. No. I have never had a mains short. But even if I did, there's, we have really good breakers here in Canada. So I know that some people who've had them, and all that happens is you blow the breaker, and then when you reset the breaker, it blows right away again. So it's not that big of a deal. All right, so we got 8, and then we need 4, 8, 12, 16. So we need 8 at first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we need 16. These are just insulators to make sure that the metal doesn't rub on the PDB. So 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, I got plenty. Alright. Gotta undo these guys, which I've already done. Where do you live, Rasby? I remember it was somewhere in Europe, I think. I don't remember where you live. That's probably a good thing. Some rando you watch on YouTube knowing where you live. Romania. Yeah, okay. Oh shit, I need to double up on these. Damn, this PDB business is kind of a pain in the butt. What time is it? Oh, 6:30? Yeah, plenty of time. How's the lighting working out? I know it's kind of looking a bit shitty from my end here. If you guys find it's hard to watch, I could mess with some stuff. Can't believe I forgot these washers. I may have to pull it apart again to put some Loctite. We'll see. Oh God, that smell. I can smell the Loctite. I think I've been in my industry a little bit too long. Things like that bother me for some reason. Yeah, I know, huh? I did modify the Because I'm using a C920, I'm using a webcam for this because my my DSLR doesn't have video out, the one that I use for videos. So I'm using a webcam, and honestly, this is like, aside from the Brio 4K, the C920S has been reviewed as like the best webcam, but it's not very good. Hey, Pile of Stuff. See, you speak of the devil and he appears. So I was just telling you guys, Pile of Stuff is probably submitting his time on an LM317 kit build soon, and he appears. So there's not very many rules, Pico. First rule is you have to subscribe to all the other YouTubers, and by that I mean if you want to. So the first rule is you only get a few minutes, like 2-3 minutes, it's not clear, to take a look at the parts for the build and lay them out. Then you have to have a timer visible on the screen, and you have to do it in one take. You solder everything up, and you put the knob on the potentiometer on last. When you put the knob on the potentiometer on, then you can stop the timer, and then you can test it if it works. Now it should work, but if you need to repair it, then you need to start the timer again and repair it. The input voltage that we used for testing was 12.2 volts, but I mean, if you go 12.6, not a big deal. I don't think so, at least. I'm not the officiator of this contest. It's actually Junk from Work, myself, Pile of Stuff, Gadget Reboot, and I think another maker. We all sort of co-decided the rules. But yeah, and you have to trim your leads, and it has to work. There's no points for aesthetics, so if it looks like garbage, that's just electronics, man. So it doesn't matter. The most important thing is it works. Typically you can get down to 1.2 something volts at the low end, and at the high end you'll cut out about I don't know, like 9.8 or something like that. And basically any entry is valid. If the time is up for debate, like it was on my video, then you know, the community can be the judge. You know what, Pile of Stuff, it doesn't matter, because if like for example, if the community decides my time is not valid on mine, there's no try limit, so you can just keep trying. And you know what? We can't forget the main goal here is to have fun. So if you're having fun, to me, you already won. You know what I mean? I have like 4 viewers, maybe 3 or 4 viewers, that literally have been watching me bolt and unbolt this quad since, like, I don't know, an hour and a half ago. I have some diehards, and then I'm gonna have some people watch the video, but not very many, I don't think. Yeah, use a lead acid battery, or if you just have alkalines, like just do 8 alkaline batteries should get you close enough. We're not honestly, we're not very difficult on the rules, really. Just test it, make sure it works, and we just kind of figured that out. We have, I think the contest will be open for quite a while. Like, I don't think there's any winners, like I don't think there's any prizes or anything, but I think next year we'll have something different for the contest. I know there has been some chat about the possibility of doing something different next year. but still having a contest going. Yeah, 12-volt wall adapter will work too. You got to be careful because some of them are not regulated very well and they float up to like 16 to 18 volts when there's no load, especially the older ones. But yeah, wall adapter will do. Did I put this backwards? No, I did not. Okay. Thankfully. But yeah, if you guys are watching this, go to Pile of Stuff's channel. I think he'll have an attempt up on the speed build kit. Ah, mother, I messed this up again. I'm supposed to put the washers. Every time. Yeah, Razvi, that's true, but not everyone knows what those are. Just, you know, you got to kind of take into account there's a lot of different skill levels. But what if this shorts out on the arm here? Did I use those washers where I didn't need to use those washers? Were they actually meant to go on the arms? What's underneath here? So that's all ground here, except for here. That's not ground. Damn, these are in the wrong spot. Oh, whatever, I'll redo it. Ooh, Autotech Pico. Interesting. So am I. So am I. I don't particularly like it anymore because I've been doing it for, you know, thousands of years at this point. But I am also an automotive technician by profession. I really apologize for you guys have watched me screw and unscrew these things over and over. But this is kind of, you know, this is kind of the pace that I do projects at usually. I understand that you could watch YouTube videos and kind of think that people get it right on the first try, but that's not me. I edit all my stuff and I try to show my mistakes too. Sometimes it's like not conducive because it takes hours. But yeah, this is kind of how it goes. You don't think things through. But I just don't want the carbon fiber arms, these guys here, which will rest here, to bridge from here to here. Like if it rubs through, I don't want to short a lithium polymer battery, which would cause kerplosions. Not good. The 24-bit set, you mean the Wiha one? I swear I had it a second ago. In the gray case? Well, if I find it again. I've actually been I've been really liking that kit. I was actually surprised. Did you get it from, oh, you got it locally. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you got it from Banggood, because I did notice that a few people ordered stuff on my affiliate link. So I've made like I think I made like 10 bucks so far, which is great. Didn't think I was gonna make 10 bucks. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm really liking that set. It's I don't have anything for precision work. This guy here, the nice old Uiha. So the one thing about that screwdriver kit is that there's no it's like the handle. It's for little things. You can't put like a buttload of torque, which makes sense. It's for little things. But when I buy like pricier tools for my work, I usually just abuse the crap out of it. And this one, I won't really be able to do that. Yeah, that's fine, Razvi. You know what? I'm really not concerned if people either don't want to use Banggood or don't want to use my affiliate links for whatever their reason. They're really just there if you feel like supporting the channel. That's all. I'm not concerned about it. I know that making YouTube videos will be costing me money out of pocket for the next foreseeable future, so it's not like I'm not prepared. But I do have, like I said, I do have some really, really nice people on my Patreon which are helping to offset the costs. And it's not like they're nice because they're helping offset the costs. They're like nice people and they're helping to offset the costs. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's try this again. Gotta make sure all these are tight because I can't access them and I don't have any Loctite on them. So this PDB, the reason I didn't do this earlier is because it's a pain in the butt to get this all done, put together, because it's like the base plate, it's all the way at the bottom of the whole kit. Okay. Alright, so now I have to, the screws will go from the top, so I can easily do that. And we'll put some washers on them. Good night, Crocinas de yeah. Yeah, I haven't shorted, you know what, I've sort of shorted batteries before. Not quite. When you, I've reached a wrench across two terminals on a car battery, and it just kind of welded away a piece of the wrench. It was just a Mastercraft wrench, so wasn't too concerned about it, but it happens. It's not actually that eventful, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. I've also bridged, I had my, I was too lazy to go rummage through my toolbox to find my, my 3/8 ratchet, and so I just had a 10 mil deep socket on my impact gun, and I took off a battery terminal. So I took off the negative first. So if ever you're in automotive, the jingle goes like, the positive is the captain of the ship. It's the first one on and the last one off. So I took the negative off, and then when I reached over with my gun to the positive, because that's the next one to go, it bridged, because I had a deep socket and the bolt's kind of facing an awkward direction. It bridged across to the negative, and then, oh god. So if I do it like this, I still can't put this cover back on. That's interesting. How the heck am I gonna do this? Huh. It's like you need to do this before the post. Interesting. Oh well. Guess I'll have to try to figure it out. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. So if I remove this and put tape down, maybe that'll work. I'm not taking these posts off again. There's no way. I honestly, pile of stuff. I didn't think you were still. I didn't think you were still watching. Okay, you know what? This I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stand it up. I'm going to do this as clusterfuckery as I can, and then we will see if it holds together or not. Do you have a drone, pile of stuff? I can see you like having one to like hanging from the ceiling or something, or maybe a balsa plane from 20 years ago. Yeah, that's fine. Nobody's here. Nobody's actually watching, but I do appreciate the people who just put the stream on. At least gives me some numbers to show YouTube I've got a community that cares. All right. This could go horribly wrong, by the way, everyone. And if it does, you are more than welcome to laugh at me, because I know I will be laughing. Uh-oh, my short bolt. 1, 2, 3. No, there's the other one. So are you wondering still why I haven't done this yet? It kind of requires an entire disassembly. So that's no fun. Can you guys see? Yeah, you guys can sort of see. No. It's a broken kite. I have, you know what? I have a really cool kite I bought from Walmart a while ago. It's got 2 strings, so you can kind of like tug on them to drive it. It's pretty cool. And then if someone says, "Go fly a kite," I can. It can be done. I swear, if I gotta run out of washers now. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm gonna be short 2 washers. Well, I don't care. How about that? Yeah, I don't mind being the head loser. I have class in the morning too. I should really have written their quiz by now, but YouTube stuff. Plus, I'm sure it'll be fine. That typo made that quote even better. The best part is I'm doing all of this from memory. I literally have not looked up anything from the years ago that I bought this stuff. This stuff was actually, it was really cheap, surprisingly. This was, you know what, one thing Banggood is great for is drone stuff. The drone stuff is extremely cheap, even compared to eBay. Because I think companies like DYS, which are basically drone parts companies, I think they have their official stores on Banggood. But it doesn't say on Banggood that it's their official stores. But clearly, somehow, Banggood has a deal with them to have their stuff up for cheaper. Oh yeah, you know what? I haven't even watched that live stream. I wanted to, but I don't know. What was I doing last night? I forget. I was doing something that was definitely not more important than a Big Clive live stream, but I was already doing that something. And then I saw his live stream ended, so I was like, oh, okay. And then it started again. Okay, so this one will have fewer supports. And honestly, if I find the missing washers now, they're not going in. No, I'm not gonna lie about that. They're just not going in. All right, so I think it was this guy. If I need to resolder, I will, but I don't think so. I think I'd rather resolder than deal with these screws again. There we go. Okay, and now the other crisscrossed arm, this guy here. It's spelled S-O-L-D-E-R, but it's pronounced solder. Trust me, I don't have an accent. I'm from Canada. You know what I just realized? If this doesn't fit, I think I'm gonna straight cry. Okay, this, because now I'm looking at these bolts and they're not looking particularly long. They still have to go through 2 point something mils worth of carbon. By the way, for you guys just tuning in, this is a ZMR 250, which was, for a while, the best bang for the buck racing quad frame you could buy. It should show you how old this is. And this is me trying to install a power distribution board instead of the hack job wiring I did before. Okay, last one, and then we see if it actually fits, or if we have to pull some screws that we've labored so hard to put together off this thing. There we go. All right, bottom frame. This could be finicky. Will be finicky. Trying not to shake this too much. Just getting a couple threads engaged. Some of them are cooperating more than others. Almost done mechanical part, and then we can get back to soldering, which is kind of what you guys came for. I think so, at least. Ooh, yeah, 10 viewers. Look at me breaking the bank. Do you guys watch any other Canadian YouTubers? Those of you in the chat? Aside from the obvious that you must be watching if you're here, like Gadget Reboot, Pile of Stuff, Junk from Work. Those are like, so like your homework. If you're coming here to see this video, after that you have to go see their stuff. Linus Tech Tips is also a great channel, but I don't think he needs any shoutouts from me. He is just killing it. He's such a big part of the tech community that he doesn't even have to go to CES anymore. They like ship the show to him. It's hilarious. Okay, some of these are not cooperating. They're going in, they just don't know it yet. No, I'm actually not brown nosing. They're my friends actually. Kind of part of the same community, you know? When I do well, they do well. When they do well, I do well. Plus their content is really good. Like, honestly, it really is. Plus, some of the guys I mentioned have more subscribers than me. Some have fewer. It's not really about channel size, it's about what you put out and what kind of person you are. You know what I mean? So this looks like it's working, except that now these bolts are not long enough to get all the way to the nylock. But if anything, I would change the... I would only change like I would take the top washer off. I wouldn't, to make it a little bit shorter. I don't think I would take the washer in between the arms and the bottom portion off, because I'm 100% sure they need to be there. Carbon fiber is brutal. Yeah, Pile of Stuff does do beer reviews. He should make, you know what? He should make a second channel where it's just the snippets from the beginning of his videos where he talks about the beers involved in the videos. I think that'd be great. Not my cup of tea, but for beer drinkers, it's fantastic. Okay, so little ghetto tool here. Yeah, stein of stuff. Puddle of beer. Puddle of beer is nice. Gotta be something like Bubble Cast or Bubble Stream or Headcast or something like that. I think you would do a great live show, like Pile of Stuff, you know, live with different breweries maybe. Especially because he has like the local connection going on. Often drinks local beer. He got stuff from Bose when he opened my kit. No, this is manufacturers will often send you a multi-wrench with their remote control cars and stuff, mostly automotive stuff like the remote control cars, and I think this came with a 5th scale RC car. I don't have a 5mm wrench apparently, so that's why I'm using that. The 5th scale is quite the monster. It runs a 30.5 cc sort of weed whacker engine, gasoline, 2-stroke. Thing is huge though. I don't know how I could even make a video. Well, I think I do realize how much you edit out, considering this 10-minute video is now going on its second. It's going to start its 3rd hour pretty soon. So I think I do get it. But as you can see, I do have viewers watching my boring stuff. So maybe if it was you, you'd have more viewers watching your stuff. Even did you see Gadget Reboot? Like his attempt at soldering was great, and it was one take. Hey man, I have a PO box in the description if you want to send me a 5mm wrench. I'll go grab it whenever, but as of now, this works just fine. There we go. These guys are real tight. One more corner and we get back to soldering. Thankfully I turned off my iron because it's not really doing anything. Probably would have oxidized the tip by now. I don't know if I'd lose it. That sounds like a challenge. But again, I am probably this month, maybe into February, I will be building a new workbench. Once it's built, might be doing a Patreon only shop tour, so I will be more organized. We'll see. Like I said, I have 3 jobs, right? So I have to concentrate on quite a few things. 3 jobs plus YouTube. YouTube's more of a hobby. It's not really a job. Okay, tighten down. Now we can turn back on the... Oh yeah, I forgot. So actually I need little pieces of wire because the signal wires actually go into these four here. These are signal wires. So yeah, I'm gonna solder all this up. Yeah, like that, and then I have to de-twist that. That should be interesting. Whoops, just knocking stuff over. I'm kind of like, you know when Big Clive says he has a little mini avalanche happening over to the side? Well, I feel the same way sometimes. Alright. Where are my clippers? Yeah, no problem, pile of stuff. You know where to find me. I'll be here. Entertaining myself, and then I'll have viewers watching. Some viewers watching. Okay. Put some flux on there. This guy here. Wait, is that a positive? Yeah, it's positive. Oh, that's taking a lot of solder. Or a lot of heat, I should say. There we go. And negative goes on to here. Oh man, you just baited me into a joke South Park has made, but I don't think I've got the lawyer money that they have to make that joke. But yes, I am sure. See how much cleaner this looks now with the wiring here? Just looks great. Okay, so I need to solder the negative like that. Hopefully you guys are at least a little entertained. I know this isn't quite the most exciting stuff. So this guy here will have to be in and out pretty quick because this is PVC jacketed. The rest of the wires so far have been silicone wire actually. Oh, that's already really hot. These guys are PVC. Yeah, I stuffed it. Yeah, not ideal, but it'll have to do. I have a bunch of strands kicking out too. Okay, I think the next one I might just twist the wire with it. Okay, so positive is up here. Chop that like that. Flux pen makes everything easier. Not easy, but easier. Not great, not terrible either. This guy here, cut about here. What doesn't look safe, Razvi? Is it like my hand's coming close to the solder? Because if so, it's not that bad. And then this guy, go under and about like that. Yeah, maybe I still solder them separately. We'll see. I'll just do it while it's still hot though. And then while that's still hot, grab this guy, pop it into there. That negative is coming awfully close to that positive. Shorts are no good. Stop popping out. Keeps doing that. It's like I can't hold both wires at the same time. There we go. Got him. bunch of wire ends out of the way. Okay, again, positive towards the inside. This must be the camera connector. It's gotta be. Here we go. Like so. Get this guy in there. The ground plane on this thing is huge. It's taking a lot of heat to get the ground in place. In case you guys are just joining me right now, we just took apart the first drone I ever built, really. And this drone was built over recommendations by RC Model Reviews. That's a great YouTube channel if you like drone related things. And because it was my first drone and I had built it and some of the speed controllers died, it wasn't quite up to my own standards. And anyways, it's kind of illegal to fly now anyways without a permit, which I don't have. So I haven't flown it in a while. But right now it's just taking it apart, updating it, and then I don't know, maybe if the urge strikes me I'll get a permit and fly it, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that too much. Much more than the actual drone itself, I like the flying itself, I like the technology. But really, because of how bad the legislation is here, if I were to fly another drone, I would probably build a drone that was under the 250 gram maximum without a permit. So I'd probably get a micro drone. Probably build one, to be honest. Kind of like the idea of building drones. It's very fun, as you can see. It's like therapeutic. I don't know actually how much the permit costs. I haven't even looked at it, because at the time, probably about 6 months or a year or so after I built this quad, the rules were in flux, and they didn't know if they were going to do permitting or whatever. And also, I live within like a certain distance to an airport, and they increased the minimum distance to an airport, like any helipad or anything. So it's just a little tiny airport that I'm near. So I don't know if I'm within that range, and I don't know. It was a whole bunch of stuff to look up that really I had no interest in looking up. So basically, I just shelved it. And plus, I mean, I have other hobbies too, right? So yeah, I just shelved it because it wasn't worth looking up at the time. This thing is kind of difficult to fly. It's not really like I built it so it would. I built it to certain specs so that it could crash it, and it wouldn't be permanently disabled. So in that sense, it's pretty durable. But it's not really like beginner friendly. So it's a bit frustrating to fly at times. Should be better now though, because now there's software updates and stuff for the flight software and stuff like that. But either way, I don't know actually how much the license costs. It's in Canada. You just have to register. 25 bucks. It's not bad at all. Trying to build an Arduino or something similar based drone on this channel. No, I haven't considered. And the simple reason for that is off-the-shelf parts make an extremely nice drone. If I were to build something Arduino based, I would love to do something like, I'm trying to think, is it RC Life On? The guy who does like a whole bunch of automated, he has like automated boats and stuff, and he has a solar plane. I would far rather do something like that. An RC boat. I have an RC boat that I'm actually, you know what, yeah, I should really build that. But anyways, yeah, so RC boat interests me more because there's no silly legislation. And also the automated part interests me a lot. So probably end up doing that. Just right now it's the dead of winter here, so it probably won't happen until spring. But in spring, it's definitely a possibility. Love to see a little autonomous RC boat. I was just checking on Banggood too. They have a jet drive, like an RC jet boat system. And since the boat that, if you guys saw my toy boat video, since the boat I have has a flat bottom, it would actually be ideal for a jet drive, because most boats you need to carve out a space in the hull deep enough so that it would be flat, but this one is flat. So that's an idea. The only thing is it's $13, and one of those 3 jobs I have is actually starting my own company, and I haven't made a single sale yet because I haven't pitched it to anyone yet. So I should probably get on that before I start spending too much more money. Like buying mailbag items at $1 something a pop is not the end of the world, but if you start buying like $13 a pop, you know, I bought some Banggood stuff that was a little bit more. I realized around here any vehicle would get crushed. Maybe. Is Romania that bad? But yeah, I bought some Banggood stuff that was a little bit more expensive, but some of it was business related. So anyways, don't want to bore you with my stuff, but just know that it's on the bucket list. If I had like a Patreon, like ask me to do a video on X, Y, and Z, I'd be more willing to spend a bit more money, because I mean that's really it's their money, really. I mean, they're the only ones who are putting money into the channel. AdSense doesn't make me very much money at all. But anyways, that's that. So I think we're almost done. We need to do the, I think this was facing this way. Yeah. Either way, it needs to be facing this way. So this is our, oops, this is our control board here. And that goes on top there. And then I need to attach these signals, and I don't remember which pins they go on. Man, honestly, I was so bad at soldering back then. I may actually just touch up these solder pads, because honestly, I was terrible at it. Let me bring this up closer to you guys. There we go. Look at this terrible, like, I sucked. Like, anybody that tells me they can't solder because it's too difficult, it's just not true. Because if you look at how shit my solder was here, and this thing still worked. Oops. Yeah, but practice, Razvi. Like, all I'm saying is just look how shit my solder was, and this still worked. So, you know, to the naysayers, especially there's some old timers that are really rough on newcomers. Like, man, just chill. We all learned at one point. None of us was born with soldering ability. I think though, when I soldered this, I honestly think this is lead free. Oh shit. I'm kinda screwing up the pins here. I may need to put the receiver, this block, I may need to put this in. I don't even think that's true, Razvi. I think we're better than we give ourselves credit for. I honestly think that the old guard sometimes can be rough. Like the RC hobby is filled with like old people who've just done this since they were 10, and a lot of times they don't want to help newcomers because I guess it makes them feel superior, and that's just the wrong way. I think electronics is for everyone, and honestly, anyone can do it with just a little bit of practice. I don't know if I'll be able to save all of these connections though. That's pretty brutal. A lot of this has way too much solder. If ever you're having issues soldering, consider whether or not you're using lead-free. Lead-free is extremely difficult to solder properly with. My iron's not that dry, come on. You don't need to wet the tip if you're removing solder. Ouch. I just stepped on something and stabbed myself. The joke is it's probably something I dropped and was too lazy to pick up. No. No, it seems fine. I've always run my, the only time I have issues with the dry iron is if it's been dry and heating for really long. If you just keep touching solder with it, it's fine. I've actually, this is the original tip that came with the soldering iron. It's been a couple of years now. Oh, created a solder bridge there. No problem. See that? It just wicks. Just wicks the solder right onto the tip. Then you just wipe it off. We'll get some more. There we go. That's not bad at all. It's not perfect still. It's far better. It's one thing homemade boards don't have is this solder resist. Ouch. Got the ground plane really hot. I have a solder ball in the middle there. I want to get rid of it. It's not bridged to anything. No, I guess I'll have to accept it. If you have your tip way too hot, then it definitely gets damaged quickly by being dry. Aren't logic gates fun though, or you mean for like school? Because I know it definitely becomes less fun when you have to do it for an assignment. That looks far better. Nice. Okay, so remember, so this was facing the back like that. I could recalibrate all this too, so it's not that crucial. Oh, the relay thing. What are you still in high school? Like, what kind of classes you have that you do electronics in high school? That's pretty good. I think you were saying you were pretty young last time. By the way, this video is not meant for children, according to the COPPA regulation stuff. Three and 4. I'm sure you can get it done. Like, you're on my YouTube channel. What about other YouTube channels? Aren't there YouTube channels designated to like that software you're using? I think we're done with the soldering iron. Okay, so basically the last thing left on this is to pop the signal wires from here to here, but I'll have to look at the spec sheet to see where it goes. So that can be definitely done another day. We are running kinda long at this point. These zip ties all got all old and brittle. $18. Nice. Your birthday is not far off from my birthday. Just a little bit divided in years there. Okay, so this guy. Oh, that's the front. I think I flipped this 180, but it doesn't matter. It kind of needs to be there. This pin will go up and that way. So that's good. And basically, all that's left really is to attach this. Oh yeah, we set the camera in. So here's the camera. What it is, I couldn't really tell you. I don't really know. It's been a long time since I bought it. So that will go down onto here. It won't go down onto there. These bolts are too long. That's interesting. The posts are in the way, so I can't actually get this on. That's kind of a shame. It's supposed to mount to this frame though. I guess I'm gonna have to 3D print a solution for that, because that's not evident. Now what? Well, maybe I'll just put the rest of this together. And you know what? It's funny, I could use this as an upper plate too. Has the same footprint. I think we're going to put the rest of this together and probably call it there. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Put this there, and then next time I guess we're going to have to do testing, programming, I guess test flight. I can't really legally fly it, so I don't know if I should do that on camera. It is made of Chinesium, actually. The big thing with these cameras is that they are security cameras. They're actually the modules from inside typical security cameras, and they are totally analog. They use analog cameras mostly in FPV flight because they do not have latency. A regular camera has to... What's happening here? Why is that not going in? Would you look at that? The screws at the bottom there didn't line up with the bottom plate. So they're not actually, it's not sitting flush, which is bowing. Just bowing the middle plate. That's hilarious. Get in there. And this guy needs to go over to the side a bit. Shouldn't fit down. There we go. It's a bit better. Yeah, so digital cameras, yeah, they're actually about 480p. And yeah, because you know, the whole chain from the quad to the transmitter to the receiver to the actual display is all analog. They don't want any latency. DJI has like a light bridge technology, which is able to transcode digital media quickly and send it out without much latency, but there's still latency. So for doing like for just like watching like the horizon or whatever, or filmmaking, not that big of a deal. But if you're going like 60 kilometers an hour or more around obstacles, you really need that speed. There's simply no way around it. There we go. That's sort of finished. Just the middle plate won't quite line up here. It's probably the extra space taken up by some stuff. I can go in and snip the posts a little bit shorter too, but that would involve removing the bottom bolts here, which I'm not really willing to do. But that is pretty much it for today. I'm going to put these props back on just so I don't forget. And usually how the props work is that they go sort of, oh, these are backwards, I think. They typically rotate inwards. Damn, I forget now. I'm supposed to go this way. Yeah, I guess it goes this way. So there's ones that rotate in clockwise direction and one that go counterclockwise. There we go. These two. And so this guy is supposed to come this way. That's an R. This is an R as well. Yep, not even in your vision. Actually, this, you know what? When I built this, this was actually a quite small drone. It was a 250 mil. These are the days of the DJI. Trying to remember. You remember that red and white frame? And basically everyone had 450 mil and higher quads. I wanted a little racing quad because if I crashed it, it would probably survive because of its small size and the carbon fiber. But nowadays, you get really small drones, and I think that'll be the goal if I were to take up RC flight overall. Yeah, I'm still alive. You know what? I've had like a couple people that stayed pretty much the whole time. I'm about to jump off, but if I jump off, you guys should probably go check out Junk from Work's channel. He's taking a little bit of a YouTube hiatus, so it's a good time to catch up, watch all the videos that you may have missed, and then Junk from Work will start posting stuff again, whether he likes it or not, because we're gonna force him. Gonna go down to his house in somewhere up in the mountains. 4 cells for every motor. No, it actually runs on, well, you can run a 3-cell or a 4-cell, but the voltage gets chopped up by these speed controllers, and I'm not exactly sure how much voltage gets all the way to the motors. Oh shit, Junk from Work. See, Junk from Work's gonna have a video out this week, so you guys can't miss it. You're not supposed to miss it, at least. I'll be disappointed in you guys. Not mad, but disappointed if you guys miss it. I better see you guys in the comment section of his new video this week, proclaiming your love for his channel, because that's what I'll be. But yeah, this thing looks a lot more organized now than it did before. The wires are nicely tucked in, the soldering's a little bit better, the flight controller looks cleaner. I need to look up a couple things and try to remember how things go, but other than that, this is done. So before we take off, get it? Take off. Do you guys have any questions I could answer easier than if you just leave questions in the comments? If not, I mean, you can leave them in the comments, but yeah, Junk from Work. I beat him in a soldering contest in our speed build, but I think he's gonna come for the gold, because I posted a pretty decent time, 8 minutes, but if you watch that video, you see I wasted a lot of time doing certain things, and if you can clean up those things, you're gonna be faster. A few of my viewers, Junk, they said they would give it a shot, so I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to end up with all this competition, because honestly, I think more competition is more better. Oh, I could fix this before we go. Well, I think Junk from Work would be the closest one to do a drunk speed build, because I don't really drink that much. I mean, I wouldn't complain if a bottle of spiced rum showed up in my P.O. box, but other than that, I don't think it's gonna happen. But Junk, I don't know if you're gonna check out the rest of the video, but I did let slip just a little teaser that in the not too distant future, I said maybe by next year, we will have a different soldering challenge. They don't know what it is. They don't know what I'm talking about, but they do know that we may have something up our sleeves. You know, I could just leave it at that. I wish a drone company like DYS could sponsor me, because I would really love to build a smaller drone, one under 250 grams, so I can actually fly it. It's just that I think it would be like 130 or 150 bucks, maybe a bit more, to build a little micro drone, a good one with brushless motors and stuff, and I just don't think I can justify the cost at this point. Soon though. This guy was fun to fly. I really wish the legislation wasn't there. I could get my license, but then again, I believe I'm within the zone, because I think there's a helipad near my place, so I don't know if I'll be able to fly here. My boat build is chillin'. I have, you know what, Junk, I've got one problem, and it's that I need to lathe down a shaft, and I was gonna do it the ghetto way, but I'm not sure if it'll work. So usually what happens when I hit a snag like that, where I don't know if it'll work, I end up not trying and delaying things way further than they need to be delayed. So yeah, I do have a friend that is really into the boat build, and I keep telling him I'm going to continue it, and I keep letting him down all the time. So yeah, but I really do want to build the boat though. That's definitely on the to-do. Yes, Razvi, absolutely I am. I love RC, and I actually have a bunch of RCs that you guys don't know about. Like, I have a big 5th scale buggy So the thing is way bigger than could even fit on my bench. Runs a I think 4 horsepower, 30.5 cc weed whacker engine. And I haven't taken it out in quite a while. So I have that I could play with. Yeah, I have no way. I need to. You know what? Here. You know what? I'll show you, so you understand. Since you joined us here on this live stream when you were at work, let me show you the problem. Okay, so I went to the hobby shop and I got a brass tube, which is this guy. You can see through the end there, it's a brass tube. So that is going to be the housing for the propeller shaft. And then, same hobby shop, I got a brass rod. See that one? This one here? You can't see through it. And they fit damn near perfect inside each other. So this is perfect. There'll be a bit of drag, but that's okay because brass is self-lubricating, and I'll probably use some like soft, some like light silicone grease. All right. So this is a match made in heaven. They work just fine. However, here lies the problem. Let me grab a box. So in this thing are the propellers I have ordered for the build. So these guys are the props here, and the thread inside of here is M3. So there we go. This is an M3 bolt, fits perfectly inside the propeller. I even have like universal joints to go from the motor to the shaft. Everything's good. However, an M3 just looking for some sort of precision measuring device. Okay, so the shaft itself is 3.36 millimeters, and the M3 bolt with M3 threads uh, 2.9. So if I cut threads into that brass rod, it'll foul in here, it won't fit. So I need to machine down a section about the length of this, maybe a little bit longer so I can put a jam nut at the end, and then cut threads in it. But if I do it eccentric, this will wobble like crazy, or this will wobble like crazy, and it'll like break. So my plan was to spin it in a drill or something and kind of sand it off with sandpaper slowly but surely. But that means, you know, I have to set it all up, and you know, if it doesn't work, kind of wasted my time. But anyways, that's my conundrum. So I have to machine off like point, what was it, 0.4 of a millimeter. And yeah, I don't want to do it incorrectly. So that's where I'm at. That's why I'm stopped. I should just like man up and chuck it into a drill, but it is what it is. Got to give it a shot. So yeah, that's why the boat is not complete. But it could be complete, you know, just takes a little bit of time, and it will get done. Yeah, I could. You know what? I'll show you how close I am to actually just tapping it. Um, Here we go. You see this? This is my Matco Tools tap handle and my Matco 3mm tap. It's sitting right behind me, right there, beside my 3D printer, because I've been avoiding it for that long. This has been at home here instead of at work in the rest of the kit for maybe like since the video 2 on the toy boat, basically. So just to give you my train of thought, I should just right? I should just taper. I should just sand a taper into the end and then just ram the tap on, because it's brass. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Yeah, like a year. Absolutely. That's what happens, man. Being creative is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, always having to put yourself out there. It's daunting, and it's silly because it doesn't have to be daunting. My community is like sick. Yeah, I know. Actually, I'm live today, right now, because I got one of those, you know, when it's too daunting to make a video type thing. I got that feeling again, so I decided to go live instead of releasing a video late night before my Patreons get a chance to see it. So yeah, since you're a Patreon, Junk, expect to see one in a couple hours, I think, after I finish the stream here, because I expect to have one posted up, and I think you're gonna like it too. It's really the video I'm making, the video that's going to be up tonight for Patreon and probably tomorrow afternoon for non-Patreons, is right up your alley, Junk. But I think that'll be it for tonight, because I need to get some sleep eventually. And yeah, so maybe I'll do another live stream next week. A Discord server? I don't... You know, Razvi, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll make a Discord server, but if you figure I get like 6 to 10 people max to show up to live streams, I'm not sure if the Discord server is the best, but I may make one. We'll see. I have a super secret Discord server for only my good friends, and so I've got that. But I could make one for my channel too. But anyways, I think that is it for me. All this stuff's going to go back in the box, and maybe I will try to pull off some of these components here one day, and use them for stuff. But yeah, other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by. I highly recommend you subscribe to my channel, and if you don't want to, then you should at least go subscribe to Junk from Work, Pile of Stuff, Gadget Reboot, and Another Maker. And if you're into more like the tools type things, there's a few really good guys on there. One of them is The Maintenance Man. If you could take a look at his channel. The car things, there's 4IM Caper. Actually, I think it's this guy's garage now. But anyways, I'd like to shout out everyone, but it's impossible. So what you need to do is come to more live streams, and as the people pop into chat, I'll be able to shout them out. Other than that, have a good evening, folks, and I hope to see you in the next video comment section tomorrow. Have a good one.